Thunder. Zion just missing out on a medal. Nick, who just made your medal stand, buddy?
You're right. Everyone gets a win over the Thunder except for the Celtics, who lost to him 3 days ago. All right, bronze medal. Tim Hardaway Jr. Hey, no Luka. Kristaps gets hurt. Tim Hardaway Jr. says, we're trying to catch the Lakers. I got you, Dallas. 42 points. No one watched this game but me. Next game, silver medal. KD. A lot of people probably watch this game switching back and forth with the draft. Kyrie, a late scratch. KD says, how about I drop a 40-piece? 42 and 10. Oh, Nick, you're such a hater. 40 and 10 is not good enough for a silver or for a gold. Nope. Not when a 20-year-old goes 50 and 10. No James Harden, no problem. Fresh off a trip to a gentleman's club, Kevin Porter Jr. drops 50 and 11. Good God, that is James Harden's music. There it is. Kevin Porter Jr. gets the Rockets a win over the Bucks. 50 and 11 at 20 years old. Great job by him.
Very nicely done. All right, Wilds, who just missed the cut last night?
Oh, the Warriors lost again, but Draymond had a wonderful pass. Look at this. Looking like Mac Jones out there throwing his receiver open. The once great Warriors dynasty. After the game, Steve Kerr is talking about boxing out and rebounding. That's where we're at in the Bay Area. Hey, guys, we need to box out like you were 9 years old talking basketball. But you know what? This pass was excellent. Go Warriors.
It's a terrible loss.
Look at that walk. Look at the walk.
Back here talking about the New England Patriots.
Farther.
I know, he's got to work on the wall, work on the strut. Patriots hoping they got their next guy in Mac Jones, but will he start under center week 1? We'll have that for you next. First things. The 49ers now easily the biggest mystery going into the draft. Remember, they moved up from 12 to 3. They trekked through all the buzz around Mac Jones, and then they end up selecting North Dakota State quarterback Trey Lance. All right, Nick, did the 49ers get this right?
I think they did, and I'm angry at myself for not sticking with the courage of my convictions from a month ago when I refused to buy into any of the Mac Jones hype. Brandon got this right yesterday. I wavered at the last second, but I think the Niners got this exactly right because, as we discussed yesterday, they can now follow what was a wildly successful model in Kansas City from just a few years ago, which is you have stable, legitimate starting NFL quarterback on a reasonable contract with multiple years left on it. And you are drafting a raw, super high ceiling first-round pick that you traded up to get, who theoretically could play his rookie season, but absolutely does not have to. And he can learn the system. He can, absorb the Kyle Shanahan offense and information. And he can sit under a professional in Jimmy Garoppolo, who, if Jimmy G plays poorly, or more likely, if he gets hurt, he can step in. And if everything goes well for the Niners and Jimmy G plays all year like Alex Smith did for the Chiefs, and even if they make the playoffs like Alex Smith did with the Chiefs, you then trade Jimmy Garoppolo in the offseason and Trey Lance takes over. So you cannot justify trading 3 first-round picks to draft a low-ceiling quarterback because you are frustrated with your low-ceiling quarterback. That's why the Mac Jones thing would have been, to me, such a wild miss, even if Mac Jones ends up being good. This made a ton of sense. I think they got it absolutely right. And I think they are absolutely, Brandon, not obligated to trade Jimmy G. And I think you wait and see how Trey Lance looks in the offseason and preseason and into the year. And I think they're comfortable trading Jimmy G 11 months from now before next year's draft.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Lance and Justin Fields are going to be tied together for the remainder of their careers in the National Football League. That's what it came down to, is these two guys. Mac Jones, he's going to have a good career. He landed in a good spot. I'm excited to watch what he does in the next couple years. But at the end of the day, it came down to these guys. They fit the Shanahan scheme and offense perfectly. And what ended up happening was, you see the film, you go out to the pro day, you see the workouts, and both of them pop. But there's some real concerns when it comes to Justin Fields' recall. And that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm finding out, you know, digging a little deeper yesterday. Like, why is this guy sliding? Why would the 49ers pass up on him? Why would the New York Jets pass up on him? Because in the National Football League, you got guys out there, man, that's throwing so much at you. These defenses are complex, they're sophisticated, and you have to be able to see it right away. We're talking about in a split second and make the right decision. You can't go out there and turn the ball over. What do we always say on this show? Ball security is job security, yours and mine. And we talk about the biggest differentiator between wins and losses in the National Football League is protecting the ball. You have to know what you're doing pre-snap. You have to know what you're doing post-snap once you're in your drop. And when you look at Justin Fields, the recall just wasn't there. So they made the right decision. And like Nick said, Trey Lance probably has the biggest upside. This dude pops. His smile pops. Everything pops, Jenna.
Wells, can I ask you a question? I want to dive a little deeper into Jimmy Garoppolo. Because you were banging the drum for him to come to New England, and now it's looking like they may actually keep him for the year, a la what Andy Reid did with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. What does all this mean now for Jimmy G?
Well, Jenna, it's time for me to bid adieu to Jimmy G once again. It's better to have loved and lost
there it is.
than to never love at all. And I was in love with Jimmy G, Nicholas. And I thought he was coming back, but never more. So now I think he has an opportunity to play well. And I think it can follow the Alex Smith narrative. The question is, what's the market for Jimmy G? And can he somehow salvage his reputation, even though he went 24-9 in his tenure with the 49ers? And the most interesting thing, I think, is this, Nick. If I was Jimmy G, Jimmy G got banged the most for throwing 5 passes and winning a playoff game. Through 5, they won the play. Because you know why? He did what he was told. He followed Kyle Shanahan's game plan. Now I wonder that he's basically playing for his job, playing for his reputation, playing for his next job. If Kyle Shanahan comes to him and says, you know what? We're going to run that same game plan. We're going to have you throw 5 passes. If I'm Jimmy G, I'd be like, nah, dude, I know we won that game, but I got killed for it. And, like, you guys are trying to trade me. So I'm not into that. So I could see that being a point of friction as Jimmy G not only plays for the 49ers this year, but he's also playing for himself.
All right, then they'll bench him. Like, at some point we get to a bridge too far. I am all for Russell Wilson saying, no, just hear me out on this. No, this at some point, like, you are who you are. If Russell Wilson wants to have some say in free agency in the draft, he has earned it. If Aaron Rodgers wants them to help him out or keep his damn quarterback's coach or not draft his replacement, he has earned it. Jimmy Garoppolo played 7 quarters of NFL football, got hurt, and got $100 million from San Francisco. The idea, and then in San Francisco, he has played decent and been hurt a bunch. The idea that Jimmy Garoppolo could be out here being like, I'm going to go rogue because you're going to hurt my marketability or my trade value, zip it. No, his job this year is to mentor Trey Lance and to stay healthy. If he stays healthy, there will be a legitimate market for him in the trade market, and whoever trades for him will probably give him a short-term extension. But there is the idea that he has some leverage here is foolish. And I would add, Brandon, I also don't think the Niners have much leverage as far as a trade because the Bears got their quarterback, the Patriots got their quarterback. Like, most of the teams have settled on their quarterbacks. So I think that to recoup his trade value, he needs to play some of this season and not get hurt. And then maybe it is a late first or certainly a good second-round pick next year.
Right. Well, look, I believe Kyle Shanahan when he says, like, he wants both of these guys on their roster next year. Kyle Shanahan is cut from an old school cloth. His dad, he grew up seeing it, being in the locker room, that Denver Broncos organization, even going back to San Francisco. The San Francisco